My peoples, my peoples. Welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. We talking boxing, my people, doing what we do. Vergil Ortiz versus Erickson Lubin. Hold on a second. Ortiz versus Lubin, my people. That fight is going down this Saturday. And it's a very interesting showdown. Very interesting showdown. Um, there's people talking about an upset. Will Erickson Lubin pull off the upset? Is that the case? Is that what we're gonna witness on Saturday? We gotta talk about it. What do you guys think? Young Guns, salute, Sai in the building. Good morning, my brother. Listen, my peoples. This is gonna be an interesting showdown. Erickson Lubin and Vergil Ortiz, they're gonna trade some nasty leather. Sai, I got Lubin for the upset. Ooh, you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Not high on Vergil. Look, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Lubin is gonna make it an interesting fight because he's a skilled fighter and he got power. But I don't see him beating Vergil. I see Vergil as being more skilled and more power. So I think what Lubin has, Vergil has more of. And that's what we're gonna see him win this fight. Whether it's by stoppage or it goes the distance, because remember, Lubin lost twice and both of them have been by stoppage. So take that into consideration. One thing that I will say, Lubin is a guy who can fight, who's been on the big stage, who's, faced top-notch opponents. And if you look at his resume, Erickson Lubin lost to Jermel Charlo and Sebastian Fundora. That's it. So it's not like he's out there just getting beat up by anybody. He lost to two world champions and two of the best in their divisions, may I add. Side, Vergil hasn't stopped anyone at 154. I don't think he stops Lubin. You have to understand, bro. He just got there. It's not like he has a bunch of fights. It's not like he has a bunch of fights. Isn't this, I think, his second fight at 154? So there's not exactly a lot to go on to say that he hasn't stopped a lot of people in the division. John Law, I remember him getting battered by Fundora, and he still dropped him. Yo, I'm telling you, Erickson Lubin can fight. And he's one of those guys that if you hurt him, you could be in danger. You hurt him and you try to go for the kill, you might get yourself in trouble. Side, Bohuchuk and Madrimov. That's a good fight. That's a good matchup. That's a real good matchup. But I tell you what, man, I want to see somebody fight. Damn, man, what's my guy's name? That he beat Tim Tszyu. They put the nasty beating on Tim Tszyu. So he lost both them fights in my opinion. Now, I mean, Vergil fought those two. Oh, okay. I felt like he beat him. I felt like he beat both of them. Bakram or Tasaliev. Man, listen. I already want to see Bakram or Tasaliev get in there. Whether it's with Jaron Boots Ennis, Sebastian Fondora, Xander Sayas. I want to see Bakram or Tasaliev with one of those guys. And I know obviously it's gonna be a good fight. But let's see. Let's see who step up to the plate first. Because the way that he pummeled, battered Tim Tszyu, it doesn't leave, a lot of people, or it may not leave a lot of people wanting to step in there with him. But I tell you what, my peoples, Erickson Lubin is a fighter who has the skill set, who, you know, like I said, man, he's been at the top with the biggest names in the division. So you can expect him to show up looking at it like this guy doesn't have the experience that I have. He hasn't been in there with the type of opponents that I've been in. So Erickson Lubin is going there to win this fight. DA95, the older era was much better than nowadays. Every division, without a doubt. All a matter of opinion. 310, Man Ruth, Grand Rising. Salute, my guy. Bam! What do you think about Vergil Ortiz versus Erickson Lubin? Who's going to win that fight? Brad Lange. Lubin is a good fighter. And that's what I'm saying. He's a very good fighter. And he's been in the big stage. He's been in there with fighters the type of opponents that Vergil hasn't faced yet. So it's going to be a competitive fight. It's going to be an interesting showdown. This is why I'm saying, no, this is the type of fight that for Vergil to get the stoppage, for example, he would have to break Lubin down over the course of 7, 8, 9 rounds to get that stoppage. And I think it's possible because Lubin lost twice by stoppage, but it's all about skills, right? Skills pay the bills. Lubin got the skills. He can box. He can box. So let's see what type of fight this turns into, because you guys know how Vergil Ortiz fights. He's going to apply the pressure. Vergil's going to go forward and apply that pressure. You can bet on that. So is Erickson Lubin going to be able to impose his style, his will on Vergil Ortiz? Come on now. Side. You see they want to make a Crawford card in March. Look, man, I don't know when Terrence Crawford is coming back or versus who, but I'm interested, man. I'm interested in seeing, because right now we know that Johnny Beck is booked. He's booked. We know he got a fight coming up. And I even saw a post where Johnny Beck suggested fighting his next opponent, and then after that fighting Carlos Adames. He said, I'll collect the belts and then fight Crawford. So he feel confident he could beat Carlos Adames. But right now, he got a fight coming up. So here's my question. Who will Crawford's next opponent be, my peoples? Who will be Terrence Crawford's next opponent? Brad Lange. Besides Charlo, nobody has ran through Lubin. Before the fight got stopped, Lubin and Fondora was competitive. That fight was super competitive. Super competitive. They was going at it. That's facts. Side. Whenever Butt is fighting boxing, boxing is thriving. Of course, my brother. That's the face of boxing right there. Whether people like it or not, Terrence Crawford is the face of boxing. That's just the reality. Come on now. But I will say, look, Erickson Lubin is gonna go into this fight as the underdog, and I agree with you guys that he has what it takes to pull off the upset. Now, if I'm putting my money up, I'm rocking with Vergil. The younger, stronger fighter, fresher. To me, nah. What's supposed to happen is that Vergil Ortiz finds a way to win this fight. And That's based on how I see it. Vergil Ortiz, you know, he has the type of power, the type of, he applies the pressure, and just his skill set, you know, they're going to match up pretty well. You're going to see Lubin and Vergil going back and forth. My bad, my peoples, it's just that the Vergil Ortiz, Erickson Lubin image that I have didn't fit the screen. So let me change that image of AB right quick, man. We don't want to do this to AB. But listen, man, I'm interested in seeing what is next for Terrence Crawford. Because this dude right here holds the title at 160. Brett Lange, I like both of them so much. I'm torn on who I want to win. That's tough, bro. When that happens, that is tough. I've dealt with that situation a couple of times. I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to pick. Let me give you an example. Sebastian Fundora and Tim Tszyu. I really like both of those fighters. And I couldn't make a prediction. I couldn't make a prediction. Honestly, I was like, nah, man. May the best man win. They both my guys. Young Guns. AB went to war with Maidana. He shouldn't have. That's the problem. He should not have gone to war with Maidana. Because for that type of fight, that's Maidana's fight. He fought Maidana's fight. That's just the reality. His ego got the best of him. And that's why it played out the way that it did. Because I'm going to tell you something. And this should not even be controversial. Adrian Broner is better than Maidana. If you compare them skill for skill, he's better than Maidana. But he was on some goofballery type shit. And that's what happens. Maidana was a hungry lion, and Adrian Broner was on some other shit. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. Side, Adames versus Bud. My God. My God. El Caballo Bronco, Carlos Adames versus Terrence Bud Crawford. Everybody seen the viral the viral sparring footage. I'm going back and forth trading some nasty leather. Y'all seen it. Come on now. So I'm with it 100%. And by the way, one of these days, I'm going to link up with Carlos Adames. And we're going to talk about his next move, what he's going to do. So let's see. Let's see what's... I'm interested in seeing who Crawford is going to fight next. And then from there, we'll find out. Because, again, if Crawford is aiming to become the undisputed champion yet again in another division, well, Carlos Adames is going to be in the way of that. He's a champion at 160. Young Guns, AB started fighting with his hands in his pockets after that. Man, listen, AB, everything changed, man. Everything changed. And I say what affected AB, it was just his personal, his lifestyle, his personal life. Imagine that he won titles in multiple divisions, and yet we still consider him as someone who underaccomplished. Imagine that. So the expectations, he didn't meet them. That's how good he was, actually. We expected more titles. We expected more big wins. Brett Lange, I boxed in the same community as AB. Watch him grow up boxing in Mount Auburn. He's a great fighter. I just hate that he wasn't as committed to boxing as I thought he was. I think AB became the example of a fighter who makes money, and that changes everything. Because if you think about it, the moment AB started talking about the billions, and we're making the most money, and we got the most money and all of that stuff, his career slowly but surely started going downhill. You know, the entourage got bigger, the the public antics got crazier, and it all went downhill. Young Guns, Bub versus Adamas with Jay Smith ringside. Oh my God. You imagine Bub versus Adamas with me calling it live? Woo. Calling that blow by blow. Devastating blow, ladies and gentlemen. My people, I'm going to say this. Adrian Broner is a fighter who's gonna get discredited because the way it all played out. But if you think about it, he was one of the most talented fighters of his era up until the collapse started. One of the most talented. AB could have been one of these dudes who would have still been winning today with a crazy record, 45-2 or something like that. Won more titles in one division, unified. He that type of talent. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. Young Guns, do you think Carmel Moulton will run into issues outside of the ring? Honestly, I don't think so. I don't think so. And I'm going to tell you why. If you notice, Carmel Moulton, since the beginning of his career, has had his father right there by his side. Always. Grew up with his pops and always got him right there. So to give you an example, look at Teofimo Lopez. No problem with the law. Look at Devin Haney. No problem with the law. Look at Zab Judah. No problem. If you look at the fighters who came up with their pops, nah, it's different. They got somebody, the most important person in their life is looking over them. So Carmel Moulton with his pops right there, nah, bro. You ain't gonna see no issues with him. He's like, in boxing, to make the comparison, he's like the straight A student. Just going, just doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. I was watching an interview, and it was my brother Trained to Perfection. And if you guys don't know him, he's been in Floyd Mayweather's team. He used to train Carmel Moulton, and he's trained a lot of fighters. You see him in videos working the pads with Carmel. And he was saying that Carmel is one of the hardest working boxers he's ever seen. And I follow him on social media. I follow him on IG. I see how he get down. This kid wins a fight and he's in the gym Monday or Tuesday already, hitting the bag and doing everything. This kid is always training. This kid is a gym rat. He saw what it took to Floyd to get to where he's at, and he's trying to emulate that. He's trying to emulate that work ethic. This kid is young and rich. You don't see him getting drunk. You don't see him partying. You don't see him getting twisted. You don't see him getting high. You don't see none of that shit. So I expect Carmel Moulton to have a squeaky clean image, keep that squeaky clean image, behave appropriately. He's a young bull, but look, he's a professional every time you see him in front of a camera. So I expect Carmel to be great at all levels, professionally, personally, all type of shit. He's gonna do what he's supposed to do. Brad Lange, Young Guns. Why has Carmel been acting up? He hasn't been acting up. He might be trash talking with other fighters on camera, but you're never gonna hear that Carmel was doing something crazy and got in trouble, nothing like that. Brad Lange, yup. AB was the next one to wear the crown. Everyone thought to even... Yo, bro, he used to be compared to Floyd. People used to actually say AB was gonna be the next Floyd. That's how good he actually was. But you know how it go, man. In boxing, it's all about the discipline and how much you can stay with it. And that's the tough part, my peoples. Just try to think about this, right? Imagine you broke, you come from the hood, you had to hustle to get money, do illegal stuff and everything, and now all of a sudden, you're a millionaire. They're handing you checks that are millions of dollars. Think about that for a second. You think now, when you got your own mansion, when you got all these people that got your kids acting their miz off, cars, jewelry, shopping sprees, you think it's the same hunger to go train every day, to go running every day? It's not. Now it's about discipline. You see the difference? People make it to the top based on hunger. Hunger can get you to the top, but it takes discipline to keep you there. And it takes discipline too. It takes hunger and discipline to get you to the top. I'm not saying you don't need the discipline, but staying at the top, it's a lot harder than getting there. That's why you see a lot of champions. They go to the top, become world champions, get knocked off, and don't become champion again. That's it. Okay, you got there, but can you stay there? Can you keep defending? Can you move up and go there again? Can you keep moving up and go there again to that top? And that takes a different level of discipline. See? To become a world champion, you have that hunger if you come from the bottom, but that hunger is not going to be there the same when you're a millionaire. Once you got that Ferrari and you got that house and you got all these toys that you wanted, that hunger is not going to be the same. You're going to need that discipline now, buddy. And Adrian Broner just didn't have it. He basically fell to his success, to his own success. Adrian Broner, like other athletes, fell victim to his own success. Young Guns, that's great to hear. Floyd just got to get Carmel on TV consistently so we can watch. I agree with you 100% on that. You know, look, Floyd, he's done a great job with Carmel. He just done it behind the scenes, and a lot of things that he's done, you just don't perceive it. But if you think about it, look how famous Carmel Moulton is right now. How well he's known within the boxing community. So he's not, you know, a superstar, you know, outside of boxing like that. But you have to see his level of stardom at this stage of his career. So, yes, I agree with you. I want to see him on TV. In my opinion, every single fight of Carmel Moulton should have been televised. From the first one. I see other guys who have their fights televised. So, I don't know why. You know, I don't know. There's politics, obviously, TV deals and stuff that got to get done that I don't know why it hasn't worked out. But I agree 100%. Carmel Moulton fights should be televised. All of them. Because every time he steps in the ring, it's electrifying. And we might even see something that we're not used to seeing from other fighters. Just Do Boxing. Peace, my guy. Salute, my brother. Good morning. And my peoples, y'all already know what it is. Right there, check out on the comment, Box Center 2.0. Go ahead and subscribe, man. I'm just waiting to get to 50 subscribers so we can start the nightly show that I got for you guys. It's going to be serious. By the way, enjoy your breakfast. Y'all know what this is. Boxing for breakfast. I know some of you guys waking up, some of you on your way to work. I'm about to have my breakfast, my people. Toast, American cheese. Pretty good too. So look, as far as Erickson Lubin and Vergil Ortiz, I believe that as competitive as it's gonna be, and as good as Erickson Lubin is as a fighter, Vergil Ortiz is gonna handle business. Those are my expectations. Mm. Not gonna be an easy win. Okay? I'm not going with the nonsense of, oh, he's gonna make it look easy. These fights, when you have this type of skill level in both fighters, these fights are never easy. They never easy, my peoples. So if you have Erickson Lubin winning the fight, you have to see him winning a tough fight. And the same with Vergil. You know, both of them are high caliber fighters. Now, I think each of them have their own edge. Check this out, Just Do Boxing. I think each of them got their own edge, and this is it right here. Erickson Lubin has been in there with Fundora, and has been in there with some other fighters that are at the very top, with Jamel Charlo. Those are his only two losses. He's been in there in a bigger stage than Vergil Ortiz. He's very experienced. He's also a big dude. That's the thing. Vergil is a big guy. And when you're a big guy, you're normally fighting smaller guys because you're big. Well, Erickson Lubin is a big dude. He like 5'10", 5'11". So this time around, Vergil is not going to be fighting a smaller fighter. He's going to be fighting somebody who's big just like him. And of course, there's the skill set. Erickson Lubin is a skilled fighter. He's a guy who can box. He can box you. Now, you have Vergil Ortiz, who hasn't been, in there with the type of opponents that Lubin has, but he has been in there with some good ones. Madrimov is a world-class type of fighter. He beat him. So that's a very good win, quality win for Vergil. So there goes the side of experience for him, that he's shown us what he can do at that level. But then there's the skill set. We know Vergil, he's going to apply the pressure. He has the power. I believe in this fight he will have the edge in power. And of course, the skill set. Vergil can box too. This can turn into a boxing match, and it'll be close. And it'll be interesting. However, I believe that styles make fights, right? I believe that in this case, a fight is going to break out. And it's going to break out early. Why? Number one, Vergil is a pressure fighter. Number two, Lubin is the type of fighter who's not going to back down. He's going to use the footwork. He's going to use the movement. But he's not going to back down. And he's not going to back down for too long before he's trading leather with you. So I believe it's going to turn into that type of fight. Does it go the distance? It can go the distance. I got Vergil winning either way, whether it's by stoppage or going the distance. That's how I see it. Jason Willen, top of the morning. Salute, my brother. Bam. And to those of you having breakfast, enjoy it. If you're on your way to work, drive safely. If you just woke up, get your ass dressed, man. Get ready. You got to go to work. My peoples. What do you think is going to be next for Tank Davis. Next question. What is next for Tank Davis after the situation falling apart with Jake Paul? Does Tank Davis take a break from boxing and, handle the legal situation and get his mind right and all that? Or does he go back and fight maybe a rematch with Lamont Roach, who that was very much anticipated, or just pick a whole new opponent? So, what would be the right course of action for Tank Davis? I'm going to tell you. Jay Stradamus is going to tell you what Tank Davis should do. I'm going to tell you guys what Tank Davis should do. Because we don't know what he's going to do, right? So, based on everything that is going down and the allegations and the fight being canceled, what Tank Davis should do is take a break from boxing. Right now, he should make Tank Davis his number one priority and completely forget about boxing. Because at the end of the day, remember, boxing is a sport. Boxing is how he make money. But Tank Davis is a person just like me and you. He's a regular human being. So, if he focus on himself, there's certain things that he can change in his life to stop landing in these type of situations. Not only that, if he take a break from boxing, then eventually this is not going to be the main topic of conversation because people are going to be talking about it. That's why he deactivated his IG. I'm pretty sure that's all people's going to comment about. So eventually that topic of conversation is going to die down. So what should he do? Number one, take a break from boxing. Number two, start doing some positive things, to show, okay, I wanna do some positive things for women. Invest somehow in women's boxing or in women's sports or somehow, some way. To invest to organizations or something like that. Just to show, look, I'm sorry, I'm gonna take some initiatives here. And just take some time off of boxing. And do some healing, you know, whether it's therapy or whatever it is that he has to go through. And he's only 30 years old. Tank can leave boxing, announce retirement and everything, and come back in 2 years. Come back in 2 years, done, spent that time hanging out with your family, having a good time, having fun, donating to different causes to help women out. And after 2 years, you come back, you're going to a training camp, come back stronger than ever, win a big fight, everybody goes to watch, and the whole tide shifts. People become a fan again. But when you're involved in these type of situations, you have to try to do something to redeem yourself. Because if you don't, if you just act like nothing happened and just announce your next fight, it's going to be the same pattern and we're going to see the same situation. And when is the next time this is going to happen and we're talking about it again? So you either change the pattern, change everything around, or the same situations keep happening. So, in my opinion, Tank Davis should take a break from boxing, focus on himself, take care of himself, take care of his legal issues. Do some things, take some initiatives to show that he's actually sorry and trying to change. And that's it. Come back to boxing a little bit down the line, 2 years later, maybe even 3 years later. That's my opinion. Mm. I had people tell me yesterday that what Tank Davis should do is get another fight right away, ASAP. Oh no, he could sign to fight this person or sign to fight that person. You know, like we spoke about it before, the kind of things that he's going through mentally.
Creo que ese se derritió en Chile. El Liru está comiendo.
So that's my take. Let me know what you guys think. Should Tank Davis, his next move, should it be landing a fight and stepping in the ring ASAP with somebody else, or take a break from boxing? And I only say take a break from boxing because Tank Davis is in his prime at 30 years old. I don't think anybody wants to see him retire. People want to see him fight. Young Guns, Jay Smith, you got ass now. Salute, my brother. Bam. And listen, your boy have gone through it, bro. Through it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take off the ass. I don't even know why the ass is running because I can't get monetized because I have a YouTube strike right now. That's why you see that super chat is not available. Hold. For the next 60 days, I'm gonna turn that feature off. Like, what you watching ads for? I ain't getting paid for that shit. They slick. But let me know, Young Guns, what do you think Tank Davis should do next? Should he take a break from boxing? Should he come back and fight? And do it ASAP? I don't believe nobody wants Tank to retire. Young Guns, I thought the money would be waiting for you. Oh, no. Wait a minute. So I do have some money from when I first monetized the channel. So I actually do have some money. But nothing else until February or something like that. Because it's 90 days. So for the next 90 days, nothing is being monetized. Young Guns, Tank is 31, man. That's peak years. Hate to step away at this stage. Here's the thing, though. I want you to consider these two options. Number one, right? At 30, I think he's still 30. But if he's 31, at that age, he stays in, right? But by 32, he getting locked up and serving 4 years because he done did something crazy again. Or he takes a break, goes to therapy, hang out with the family, clean up his image, comes back at 32, 33, still in his prime. mind right, no legal issues pending, and still years ahead of him in his prime, he could have a much better career. By taking a break, he can have a much better career than sticking with it. Because right now, obviously, personally, things are not clicking the way they should. So you have to take that into consideration. Young Guns, nothing wrong with getting some bread for doing what you love. Oh, no doubt. No doubt, my brother. And I tell you what, it's not just YouTube. Eventually, somebody's gonna come calling. You're gonna see me sign. And and let me tell you something interesting. I already had the opportunity to get some things done. Just when you get to my age and you have my level of experience, you read contracts. You understand how contracts work. So I already had a couple of people trying to jerk me into funny ass contracts. Like I'm a rapper trying to make it and I gotta get jerked into my first deal and shit. Young Guns, Jake Paul money might be a good thing. Tank didn't get it. I mean, listen, whether or not getting that money was gonna be good or bad for Tank, he's gotta be going through it right now. You know why? Because you have to think about it. He just fumbled the biggest bag of his career for the easiest fight of his career. Think about it. Tank Davis has been in some tough fights too. His last fight was a tough one. Went to a draw. And you're about to get your biggest payday off of an exhibition. And you fumble that. Can you imagine how Tank Davis feel? And for 1 second, forget about Tank Davis. Can you imagine how everybody on that team is feeling? Everybody in Tank Davis' team who was going to get a nice little bag off of this fight. Because you know it goes by percentages. So everybody on the team was going to eat. Fumble that shit. Oh, so Tank didn't just fumble it for himself. He fumbled that shit for everybody. Everybody on the team, all the fighters that were going to be on the undercard, everybody. Tay John, he doesn't have the boxing spirit in his heart right now. That's why I'm saying Tank need to forget about boxing for a year or two and focus on himself. Focus on bettering himself. Focusing. I said it earlier. If I was Tank Davis, I would announce retirement, but one of the fake retirements that you coming back. But I would announce retirement, take some initiatives, some pro women initiatives like donating to some women's causes over the next couple of years, showing that I'm sorry and I'm on the side of women too. Clean up the image, and then he could come back at 32, 33 years old, revitalized, healed mentally, still dead in his prime, and continue to do what he's been doing, only with a better frame of mind. And maybe even surrounded by some new members of a team that's going to work on keeping them in check. I think that would be the most beneficial route for Tank Davis. As opposed to just brushing this off and be like, no big deal. We're just going to get the next fight. Yo, such and such. Let's get it. Because then you're going to stay in the same cycle. And then what? 6 months, 8 months from now, we're going to hear about, oh, this chick is alleging that Tank did this. So, something's got to change. Young Guns, the entire undercard gotta be upset. Just think about it. Who isn't upset with Tank Davis? Who isn't involved in that card? The undercard fighters, all the coaches, all the trainers, the people in Tank Davis' own team, the people from MVP, the people from Netflix. Who isn't? And then you have to consider the fight was going to happen in 2 weeks. It was only 2 weeks to go. That means that everybody has been in training camp. Everybody has been cutting weight. Everybody been away from their family and everything, preparing for this date. A lot of them getting a career payday. All of that shit is off. All of it. Just like that, gone. The Hydro Grind, salute, my brother. Bam! Young Guns. Must be suck putting money into training camp to only have the fight taken from you. Crazy, crazy. Crazy work, bro. So right now, a lot of people's upset with Tank Davis over that. Juan Ocasio, good morning, Box Center. Salute, my guy. Bam, appreciate you dropping in. The Hydro Grind. I didn't get the notification. I had to look for you, bro. Shadow banned again. Yeah, no, honestly, I've been shadow banned. Since they gave me that last strike, I've been shadow banned. So it's gonna be funny like this up until like January or February when the strike ends. You know, we still gonna do what we do though. MAW. Hello, boxing fans. Jay in chat. Subscribe, share, smash that like button. Yo, MAW, salute, man. I appreciate you. So again, my peoples, that's the magic question. What do you think Tank Davis should do next? In my opinion, he should take a break from boxing, work on, handling his legal issues and and cleaning up his image. Cleaning up the public image. Take some initiatives, donate for women causes, that kind of thing. And come back a couple years down the line. With a different mindset. Juan Ocasio, Jake Paul trying to act like there wasn't a chance of this happening with Tank Davis. He has been through this in the past. No, he's not trying to act like anything. You don't know who's going to change and who's not going to change. You don't know who's going to stay out of the trouble. So it's fair to think this guy's going to get the biggest bag of his career. He's not going to do anything crazy. Well, we was wrong. He did something crazy. So, Juan Ocasio, you can't predict what somebody's going to do in the future. There's just no way. Now, they did do the right thing. They did. Look, Jake Paul just became a lot more important in women's eyes, in women's boxing, for taking that stance. And I want to tell you something, Juan Ocasio. I've spoken privately, and I can't name any names, but privately, I've spoken to about 10 women in boxing. Fighters, coaches, trainers, women in boxing who are in different aspects of the sport. And you know what they told me? Privately, that they couldn't stand Tank Davis. They wouldn't say that publicly, And I wouldn't ask them to. I wouldn't say, yo, you gotta come on video and say it with me. No. But they all told me the same thing. He's a piece of and he always been that. And now he got exposed. So women in boxing feel a certain way about Tank Davis, but what does that tell you about the female fan base of boxing? Because let me tell you, I hope you guys know, boxing has a huge female fan base. Boxing has a huge female fan base. The Hydro Grind, retired, get some help. I agree. MAW, I agree. Tank needs time off to try to sort out his private life. My next preference later is Roach rematch. If Roach still good, when or if Tank returns. I definitely would like to see him return to a Roach rematch, but if he's out for a year or two, he could come back for a tune-up and then go after Roach. But I want to see, you know, what the next move is gonna be. But I'm telling you, Tank Davis is not liked amongst women in boxing and amongst the female fan base. Yes, he has female fans. Don't get it twisted. Tank has a lot of female fans. I'm not suggesting that he don't have female fans. But I'm saying overall, most women don't like Tank. Most women don't like him. He has to change that around. The public perception, his public image, he has to change. Because, and I told you guys this before, with the type of post that Jake put up, it's going to be tough. A lot of doors closed, shut for Tank Davis. When Jake Paul said that he's difficult, that he's unprofessional, that he's always late, that he's demanding for bizarre things, all of that stuff is damaging. Because you have to understand, Tank Davis, before now, he has been fighting under the PBC ecosystem. So it's like PBC, Tank Davis Promotions, there's Al Heyman, Leonard Ellerby. It is within their ecosystem. So any goofballery that Tank Davis is doing, ain't nobody gonna talk about none of that. That's internal team stuff. But now when Tank Davis is doing business with Netflix and with Jake Paul, they don't have to accept your goofballery. They don't have to keep it quiet. You're the B-side over here. So that's the problem. Tank Davis showed that he's not ready to do business outside with his actions. He gotta do it internally. There's gotta be our thing right here, where everything we do stays right here. But you can't go to no big corporation with that type of behavior and think you're just gonna get away with it because you're Tank Davis. So that's the way the cookie crumbles. MAW, some people are just attracted to trouble, sadly. There's left and right and everything in between. Right and wrong and everything in between. People can fall and rise again and again. But change requires effort. That's the thing. Change. That's the key word right there. People have a hard time changing. It's tough. For some people, it's more difficult than others. That's why you see people who be 40 years old still dressing the same way that they did in high school. It's like, bro, you're not in high school anymore. Well, what are you doing? That's why. And I tell you, sometimes success is part of that. You know, lots of success and lots of money changes people. Not everybody. I've seen people get money and be exactly the same, just as humble as they was when they didn't have it. But I've also seen people get money that after they get money, you don't even recognize a person. Like, what the fuck is this? And if you go back and you look at Tank Davis, you know, early on, he's not the guy that he's right now. This little quiet guy, this little humble guy who was confident, but Tank Davis a whole different person. Matter of fact, look, that's why yesterday people was mad that I said Tank Davis and Adrian Broner and I put those two names together. And I saw a few a few pages or a few sites taking my idea and posting it as their own. But that's cool though. I take that as a compliment. When somebody steal an idea that they see me doing, I take it as a compliment. But I made the comparison because AB is the same deal. If you look at AB before he got rich, how he behaved, how he carried himself, versus when he started talking about billions, it was a whole different person already. Juan Ocasio, he definitely messed up. Money out of boxing, but not in boxing. He'll be fine. Whoever he fight next, people gonna watch. It's not like he was getting endorsements anytime soon. See, that's what you're not understanding, Juan Ocasio. I don't think you're ready to understand the type of impact that this is having on him. You're like, oh, he'll be fine, ain't nothing. It's all good. And you're not understanding that just like Jake Paul distanced himself, everybody's gonna do the same thing. So yes, you can get yourself a B-level opponent to get in the ring with you, and you can do it. But a lot of companies ain't gonna want to rock with you, bro. You definitely don't understand the seriousness of the situation. But time will show you. Just remember, Juan Ocasio, first you told me that the fight was still on. And I try to tell you, nah, brother, the fight is not on. It's not. It's not happening. And now you're like, oh, no, it's not on, but he's fine. Oh, you're going to find out real soon that he's not fine. You're going to find out, buddy. Netflix was like, we don't want no parts of that. We don't need that. So I know you think he'll be fine, but let's see what other network is going to be with it. What other network is going to be like, yeah, we want him over here in the middle of this controversy. See, here's the problem, Juan Ocasio, with what you're saying, and I want you to think about this. This is the problem. You're not considering the fact of the actual allegations. Juan Ocasio, let me be the one to tell you, as much as you can ignore the allegations, but they are because you never talk about it, details that you love to ignore. Do you know the details of the allegations? About the, kidnapping, alleged kidnapping. I'm saying alleged, right? Alleged kidnapping, alleged beating, alleged confinement. Do you know about those details? So I think you're not understanding the seriousness of the situation. When you say, oh, he'll be fine, and everybody's going to watch. You're going to have to find a network that's going to want to parts of that smoke. That's going to be tougher than you think. Going to be tougher than you think. Tejan, I have to agree with Juan. I believe the fight was canceled due to low interest, more than anything. Tay John, that's the thing, that as a Tank Davis fan, you want to believe in things favorable to Tank Davis as opposed to the reality. You're taking something and turning it into a conspiracy as opposed to what we're seeing. And the thing is, the moment we found out what the allegations were, I told you guys this fight was gonna get canceled. I specifically told you guys there's no way this fight is happening. So whether or not you think it's canceled due to low interest, I don't know how you came up with that one, but I will tell you, Tay John, it was definitely canceled because of Tank Davis allegations. Nobody wants parts of somebody that has those allegations against women. If you didn't get the memo, let me be the one to tell you. Let me be the one to tell you, family. Come on now. Come on, my peoples. Agent 17, I told y'all when I get my paycheck, I'm blessing Jay Smith. Salute, my brother. I appreciate you. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm going to tell you something, my peoples. I appreciate anyone who support Jay Smith. I appreciate it. It don't matter, yo, if it's $1, $50, $1.50. It don't matter what it is. But it's just showing that you support Jay Smith. So I appreciate you, Agent 17. Tay John, I'm not a Tank fan. Oh, yeah, you definitely a Tank fan. You definitely a Tank fan. Because look what you're talking about, that it wasn't selling tickets. What does not selling tickets got to do with a girl alleging that Tank beat her, kidnapped her, and confined her somewhere? Well, how do you correlate the two? I don't know how you correlate it, but it seems like you want to deflect from what actually happened and turn it into what nobody else is actually talking about. So I understand, Tay John, that you'd like to put a different narrative out there. Nobody believes you, bro. Nobody believes you. The person that you're referring to, he's a tankomaniac just like you. So it's only you guys that's gonna say that. Just do boxing. Ooh, appreciate it. The membership, my guy. Agent 17 looking out. MAW, Agent, Just Do, Bam Bam Boogie, Ocasio, Young Guns, everyone, salute. Just do boxing. Keep building, Jay. You know it, my G. We're going to keep grinding. They could shadow ban me. They could give me a strike. They could do whatever they want. We're going to keep doing what we do. Why? Because we meant to be doing this. We supposed to be doing this, my G. Carlos Perez, buenos dias. Salute. Lou, so many other fighters tanker the fight and chose Jake. Tank really haven't impressed me. Better start fighting real champions. And the thing that people don't realize is that choosing Jake Paul over Lamont Roach really backfired on Tank Davis. It really backfired. You know why? I want you guys to think about what I'm about to tell you. If Tank Davis would have been fighting Lamont Roach next, the fight would not have been called. Lamont Roach wasn't going to pull out on Tank Davis due to allegations. The fight would have still been going down, and he would have still had a fight, and he would have still got a bag. What he was going to get for Lamont Roach? 15 million, 20 million? Would have still got a bag, millions of dollars. But no, according to the Tankomaniacs, he's going to get the bigger bag. Now he's not getting no bag. What now? Come on, my people. We got to see what's really going on. You have to understand what's happening. Had it been a fight with an actual boxer who's gonna be the B level in that, the B fighter of this fight, a B side fighter wasn't gonna cancel on Tank Davis. The fight would have happened. But Jake Paul was the A side. Tank Davis got fired on his day off. How you gonna get fired on your day off? Got fired on his day off. Come on, my people. We have to understand it. It was a bad decision. When everybody celebrated the bag that Tank Davis was going to get, it turned out to be a bad decision, my people. And let this be a lesson. Yo, just boxing, what do you think about this? Let this be a lesson to boxing fans. Never celebrate a fighter's money that he ain't even get yet. How goofy you look celebrating the 40 and the $50 million. You look goofy enough pocket watching Tank Davis. But now you look even goofier. Well, I would do the same thing too. And he's gonna get all these millions. Now how you look? You look goofy as hell. And the craziest thing about all this is that people who work 9 to 5 jobs, because none of us is millionaires, we arguing about who's making the most millions. We talking about it like Tank Davis was going to get $10,000 for fighting Lamar Roach. Meanwhile, this guy would have got, what, 15, 20 mils for Lamar Roach? More money than all of us combined with our family members and everything. That's what he would have got for Lamar Roach. He skipped out on that bag for this, and this fell apart. You know the saying, don't count your eggs before they hatched? That's what the Tankomaniac's been doing. Pocket watching money that ain't even in the pocket yet. Kind of shit is that? Goofballery. That is the definition of goofballery. Lamar Roach was going to beat the brakes out of Tank. I had Roach winning that fight. Everybody who been here knows that I had Lamar Roach winning that fight. I say he was going to beat him. And it didn't happen. We didn't get the opportunity. We just didn't get the opportunity to see how it really was going to play out. And honestly, I felt like Lamar Roach was going to win because of the way the first fight played out. Just do boxing. They canceled the fight because they wanted to avoid the women protesting. None of them wanted to fight on the card with Tank while he had those allegations pending. And look, Just Do Boxing, I've been trying to tell people. Jake Paul MVP promotion is built on women's boxing. Built. How people think that Jake Paul can just look away, avoid that, and say, nah, we're going to fight anyways. And then them women is going to have to put a microphone put in their face and ask, what do you think about Jake Paul fighting with Tank, and what do you think about those allegations? They wasn't going to put those women in that position. It was obvious. It was obvious to me that this fight was dead in the water. The moment the allegations came out, the details of what it was, I was like, nah, you could see the lie. I was like, it's not happening, my peoples. Take that to the bank to get some pounds. MAW, I'm happy for any fighter to earn maximum bag if they earn it. But really, I'm here to find out who really is the best. Accomplishments matter most. I agree with you. And the thing is that accomplishments bring money. The most accomplished fighters have traditionally been the ones who make the most money. So if you accomplish, the money will work itself out. But with Tank Davis, it's the first time that we started to separate the two. Tank Davis and PBC, they started selling that narrative to the fan base that they don't need a title, that they don't need belts, that belts don't mean nothing. They got fans to even repeat those words. Even though we see the best out there trying to get belts and titles, but Tank Davis fans will tell you, no, titles don't mean nothing. He don't need no belts. He put butts in seats. So they did a good job of selling a narrative, and now we have to separate money and legacy. They always went hand in hand. Money and legacy always went together. If you look at Oscar De La Hoya, Tito Trinidad, Mike Tyson, Julio Cesar Chavez, Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, Sugar Ray Leonard, Sugar Ray Robinson, Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier. If you look at all these names, they were amongst the best and the people who made the most money in whatever era they fought. That's always been the case. Legacy and money always went together. But Somehow the PBC separated it and said, nah, that's it. We don't need legacy. We just need money over here. And fans accepted it. Just do boxing. Alicia Bumgarner moved her fight back to December. Those ladies not rocking with Tank at all. And he just cost everybody move bad money, bad business, bro. It's real bad business. Because, and I'm wondering, just do boxing. Do you think Tank Davis paid his team? Like, because think about it, we've been in training camp. The fight was going to be in 2 weeks. We've been in training camp, cutting weight, sparring, doing all that. When the fight get called, does Tank pay the team? My bad, my people, the fight's not happening. Y'all all been away from your family. Y'all all been in training camp. Here, boom. Take that. I mean, Tank got money like that. So I don't know if probably he did or will do that. But I would say that's the only way for the team to be cool with it. Fuck it, man. The fight's not happening, but he paid us for the training camp. We good. Fuck it. On to the next one. But if nobody getting paid, woo, everybody gonna be mad as hell. Everybody gonna be mad as hell. Juan Ocasio, they already knew they were fighting with a woman abuser on card before all this. Okay, Juan Ocasio, but maybe they didn't know that they was dealing with a woman kidnapper. And, you know, so it went up another level now. People change. You don't know if the last situation was the last. Well, there's another situation. It's time to move on. Well, Juan Ocasio, what's your point? They made a move. They walked away. That's it. The hydro grind. That's facts, Ocasio. Damn, your Tankomaniac just got a different point of view, bro. Lou, there's an old saying that goes, now Tank lost the GOAT and the rope he played himself. He has money. Should have took the 15 million and proved to everyone that you're the best. But he running from real opponents. You see, the thing is, man, that Tank could have fought the rematch and redeemed himself. And he chose the exhibition to chase the bag. And then he fumbled the bag too. So it's been a series of bad decisions that have led him to where he's at right now. That's just the reality. That's just the reality. Juan Ocasio, women fighters protesting, F out of here. Those women fighters trying to get paid that don't have nothing to do with them. What don't have nothing to do with them? That Tank is being alleged to have beat women and you don't think women support women? You wildin', bro. You wildin'. Come on, bro. Superman. Salute, my brother. Bam. In the building. Just do boxing. Juan Ocasio, you clearly not updated on the situation. You just talking. I mean, now look, what happened is just do boxing. Juan Ocasio, he's a true Tankomaniac. Like a true Tankomaniac. So you know that, that crew, they're going to defend Tank no matter what and point in a different direction no matter what. That's what he's doing. So you got to expect it. What's the subject? I think string were pulled behind the scenes due to Tank not rematching Roach. I mean, like I said, man, there's always going to be the conspiracies, but I think I'd rather stick with the facts than make stuff up out of thin air and want to believe that. That sounds crazy to me. Never heard that up until this very moment. The hydro grind. Superman in the building. Just do boxing for the last time. None of the women was willing to fight on the card with Tank. None of them. Go do your research. And it's not, look, none of the women wanted to fight with him. Netflix didn't want him on their platform. Like nobody, like that's it. When you're involved in that type of situation, people are gonna distance themselves. That's just the reality. So the women don't want to be on the card with you. Netflix, their image is important to them. Jake Paul, obviously, MVP Promotions is built on women. He's supposed to be championing for women. Come on, listen. If Jake Paul would have said, yo, nobody got proof, nobody can prove what he did, we still gonna fight. Man, he would have probably lost half the MVP roster that night. That night, he would have lost half the MVP roster. And little by little, the whole damn thing would have collapsed. So he had to do that. He didn't really have a choice. The hydrogram, what Juan is trying to say from one tanker maniac to another. Let me see what he's trying to say, because I'm pretty sure as a tanker maniac, you understand the hydro grind. So let me see. You guys understand each other. What Juan is trying to say is that the reason why the fight got pulled out is not because of the women pulling out. Netflix had a bigger part to play in it. It's not because of the women fighters. The women fighters are also taken into consideration. Everything is taken into consideration, the hydro grind. Because what you have to understand is that there's been already a lot of money invested into this fight. You see how many promo ads Netflix already put out? MVP already put out? Yo, this is not promo ads that somebody with a little cell phone is shooting. These people spend tens of thousands of dollars for a little 30-second shoot. And they already did multiple of them, did a little mini series, did a little thing with Jake Paul. That's thousands and thousands of dollars. Equipment, personnel, employees for this thing alone. So a lot of people play a factor in it. When you decide we're not going to do this, you have to look at everybody that's going to lose a job, that's going to lose money. Before you make that, why you think the hydro grind, they don't make that decision on day one? No. First, they have to look at everything. They're going to make the decision, but they're going to look at everyone that's affected. They're going to look at what everybody else thinks. And when it becomes clear that all the women are against it, it's going to be a no-brainer, bro. They're going to be like, okay, look, we want to pull the plug. These women are going to miss out on a payday, but they don't even want to fight with them anyway. Pull the plug. So that's a factor. Women not wanting to be involved is a factor. It's taken into consideration. What's the subject? Golden Boy isn't with the mockery of boxing. That's why he sent the message to Jake. This event isn't helping boxing as a whole. Look, this fight, this exhibition, right? It's an exhibition show. It's something that nobody asked for, but for the last few months, Tank Davis fans been celebrating because he was going to get all this money. Juan Ocasio was here every day. Tank is going to get the bigger payday, and we would all do the same thing too. I told them that they would ruin the sport of boxing. If fans were only like that, boxing would be ruined. Because they don't even care about the best fights. They just care about Tank making the most money, which is crazy. And imagine that. You pocket watch Tank so hard that you celebrate the money that he ain't even make yet. How you celebrate the money a guy hasn't even made? Explain that to me. That's a different level of pocket watching. Come on now. The hydro grind. It has weight, of course, but Netflix pulled out because of the allegations, not because the women fighters said so. Again, it's all taken into consideration. So the women and their opinion, it matters whether you agree with it or not. Underrated Will. Good morning, Jay Smith and family. You think Netflix would have want to have that fight get made and have the women turn on Netflix and women label Netflix women abuser supporters? Fool, please. Of course, the women was a factor in it. Wes does it. Good morning, bro. Boxing junkies. Peace, Jay Smith. May your jab be stiff and your coffee strong. Salute, my brother. Appreciate you dropping in, man. You know what we do. We talking boxing. We getting it in. What's the subject? We want to see real fights anyway. Tired of boxers babysitting records, ducking competition. Time ducked a fight and went exhibition. This is ruining boxing. I gotta say, man, I'm one of the fans who was super disappointed to see Tank duck that rematch with Lamar Roach and pick, Jake Paul in an exhibition. I was super disappointed. And I was even more disappointed to see his fans celebrate this. Ooh, he's gonna get the bag. We would all do the same thing too. That was so disappointing, bro. Like getting 15, 20 million against Lamar Roach is not a bag. Think about that, my peoples. Somebody working 9 to 5, somebody making less than 50,000 a year is saying that getting 15, 20 million from Jake Paul from Lamar Roach is not a bag. That's not a bag. Oh, 15, 20 mil. He's gonna get the real bag. Like, how delusional could people be? And I'm gonna tell you, and I've said this before, the obvious argument that you could see between two regular people, two 9 to 5ers, two people who gotta go to work every day. The goofiest argument that we could make is about who got more money. This guy got 10 million, this guy got 50 million. They both millionaires. You look goofy as hell. Trying to argue about this guy got real money, this guy got more money. Motherfucker, do something so you could get more money. What are you arguing about other people's money? So the reality is that it doesn't matter. It shouldn't even be a part of the conversation. There should be no conversation about who's got more money or who's making more money. Those are the people that ruin the sport of boxing. The argument and the conversations should be about who's the better fighter, who's gonna fight who can beat who's ducking who, fights. But the Tankamaniacs turned it into a money conversation. The Hydro Grind. Of course the women is a factor. The argument isn't that. It's the fact that the guy said, no, he never said it was the factor. He never said it was the factor. Go read the comment. He said that's one of the things. The women did not said that was one. He didn't say that was the factor. There's a bunch of factors. Come on now. Stop it, bro. Netflix didn't even announce that the fight was off. It's MVP that announced that the fight was off. It's MVP that was promoting this thing. Wes does it. I saw your post about Tank becoming AB. Never thought about it. But you're right. And a lot of people, Wes does it, was real upset about that post. I don't know if you've seen some of the comments on there. A lot of people didn't like it. And they didn't understand it because they started saying, no, because Tank never lost and Tank beat everybody, blah, blah, blah. AB lost. And it's not about that. It's more about their personal life and how it affected their profession, their career. Two super talented fighters. I think we can agree that AB should have accomplished more than he did. He's underaccomplished. And his personal life has a lot to do with why he didn't accomplish more. So now Tank Davis, look what his personal life has done to his profession. The biggest bag of his career, which by the way was going to be the easiest payday on an exhibition, he fumbled it. Come on now. Fumbled it. The letter M. Tank wants to fight chicks more than Paul. Man, listen, now, I'm not going to say that he wants to, but he got to change something, man. Tank has to change something around. Lou, when you're an athlete, you also have to be mind that you walk in a different type of lane. You can't be involving in kidnapping women and abusing people like you have chosen with you really what you really want to do. So the thing is, Lou, once you become a public figure, you have to understand that your behavior is gonna be under a microscope. And for a certain amount of time, because you're famous or because you're talented, you may be able to get away with certain things. Because if you guys think about it, Tank Davis had allegations before and still went on to fight. I think it was before the Frank Martin fight that he had got locked up and had allegations hanging over his head, and he still fought. So this is not the first time that he had allegations before a fight. The only difference is that this is the first time that he had allegations right before a fight where he wasn't the A side and it wasn't under PBC. See? This fight, it wasn't under PBC. It wasn't under Al Heyman. It wasn't a Tank Davis promotion. And he wasn't the A side. So he was in a whole different situation that he's ever been in before. Why? Because all the shenanigans that he does, Al Heyman wasn't going to expose his own fighter. The PBC wasn't going to expose their own fighter. He be doing this, he be doing that, he be late, he be acting up. They wasn't going to do that. But Jake Paul, on the other hand, who doesn't work for you, who doesn't work with you, who's actually the A side hiring you to fight him, he don't have to stand for it. Jake Paul fired him on his day off. What's the subject? Jay has allegations also, but we know why he's being criticized. I mean, that's the thing. Every time somebody does something, instead of focusing on them, people try to point at somebody else. Look at the people who came in and say, oh, Shakur hit a girl. Shakur hit a girl. That shit was in 2018. That shit was almost 10 years ago. But people bringing it up in efforts to defend or deflect from what Tank Davis is doing. Because when was it that Jake Paul had allegations? What's the subject? When was it that Jake Paul had allegations? You're comparing that to, you're bringing it up now when Tank Davis just got involved in that. In a couple of months, he had another case. You can't compare it. You can't compare it. How many women have already alleged that Tank beat them? 5, 6? You see? So you can go back and keep bringing up a Jake Paul allegation. Tank Davis has already shown a pattern. How many times already? So no matter how much we deflect to somebody else, and look what somebody else did, and look what that other person did. The topic of conversation today is Tank Davis. You have to understand that. Ain't nobody talking about the Jake Paul thing other than those that want to bring it up. Nobody's talking about it. That's not something that is going to catch on, where people now going to start saying that. Nope. It's Tank Davis who just got fired for the situation that he's involved in. Superman. We saw him late in the past. He should have shaped up his act. I mean, this is the biggest bag of his career. Biggest bag of his career in an exhibition show, and he lost it. The Hydro Grind 2021 Jake Paul allegations, there you have it, 4 years ago. You know how many times women alleged that Tank beat them within the last 4 years? You know how many times? My goodness. West does it. Tank hit a pregnant woman's car, and still drove off. That boy's spiraling out of control. What do you think about that, the Hydro Grind? where he crashed into that pregnant woman's car and left her right there. Just left. What do you think about that? The letter M. Jake Paul got sequel allegations 2021 from an incident in 2019. Again, the letter M. Look, you're going 4-5 years back. So it looks like he's been doing pretty good since you had to go that far back. Now, from 2021, which is the last allegation that you're saying he had, go from that point forward and see how many allegations Tank Davis has. So if all these, how are you skipping all these allegations to go back to 21 to say, no, but he had an allegation in 2021? Come on now. We got to stick with what's going on right now. Superman. Yes, for sure. Clean up to get the bread and for your mental health. And I agree with that 100%. That's what I said earlier. Tank should leave boxing 2-3 years, clean up his image, take some initiatives, donate to causes that help women, and, go to therapy, and just come back 2-3 years later and do his thing again. MAW. I'm already moved on. Wasn't interested in this fight as much as Tank versus Roach rematch anyways. Oh well, so sad. If Tank guilty, end up in jail. Someone tell him to give himself uppercut. Juan Ocasio, don't matter how long ago it was. What's the subject? Both are the topic. Neither of them can point fingers. I mean, I don't know what you're saying. Both. I understand that as a Tank Davis fan, you want to deflect. But guess what was the subject? I haven't been in any of that. And I'm pointing finger at Tank. Everybody's pointing finger at Tank, but Tankomaniacs. You're finding someone else that you want to point at. Cool story. But at the end of the day, Tank Davis is the one that has the allegations of kidnapping, of beating women, of sequestering women, and holding them against their will. That's Tank Davis. That just happened. So if you want to bring up allegations from 5-6 years ago, have at it, You can do it. But we know that that's just a deflection tactic from Tankomaniacs. We know who's the person that right now people are talking about. We know who lost the biggest bag of his career. That's just the reality. That's just the reality. Right now, we have to see how this situation is going to play out for Tank Davis. Jake Paul's going to be fine. Jake Paul, MVP promotion, they good. What is going to happen with Tank Davis? What type of fight is he going to be able to get next? What type of, for the people who said, oh no, Tank Davis is just going to be fine. Okay, if Tank Davis is going to be fine, everything is going to be perfect. What company do you think is going to do business with him? Who is he going to fight? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because at the end of the day, somebody, you believe that there's someone out there who's going to say, yes, I want to do business with Tank Davis. I think that he's going to have to, fly under the radar for a little while. What's the subject? Hydro grind. Nobody can back a rapist. Well, what's the subject? You went from allegations to calling him a rapist. So what's the subject? Now you become a narrative spreader. I'm going to ask everybody who's in here, do you guys know what I do with narrative spreaders? What's the subject? You just got yourself the narrative spreader label. Do you know what I do with narrative spreaders? I'm going to just ask you. You said Jake Paul's a rapist. Now, Jake Paul's never been convicted of rape. You didn't say that he's alleged. You said that that's what he is. So what's the subject? Do you know what I do with narrative spreaders? With people who say fake stuff as if they were facts? Do you know? I'm waiting for your answer. What do I do with narrative spreaders? The hydro grind. Superman, timeout, 24-hour break. Well, the thing is that what's the subject? The way that he's going with it, it doesn't really earn a 24-hour break. 24-hour break, that's like, you can come back. You can come back. But when you're a narrative spreader, And I've been seeing the sneak hate coming from what's the subject. You got to get invited to the block party. So narrative spreader, what's the subject? I didn't block you right away because I wanted to hear it. I wanted you to hear it. I don't deal with narrative spreaders. You're a goofball. I'm not going to read that last paragraph. You a dummy. You out of here. Welcome to the block party. Dummy. Dummy. Get that dummy out of here. You see, he tried to put in one last paragraph explaining himself. Dummy. You guys know I don't stand for it, man. I don't stand for it. You can have your opinion, no problem. I respect opinion, no problem. But when you start saying fake stuff about fighters, when you start saying stuff that you're just making up out of thin air because you want to have a good argument, you're going to be sent to the block party. That's how we do it out here, my peoples. Don't get it twisted. Do not get confused. I'm not thirsty for subscribers. I'm not thirsty for people who don't know shit about shit coming over here spreading narratives. Block your goofy ass quickly and swiftly. The hydrogram, we got to keep it clean. The letter M, dummy freeze zone. Got to get these dumbasses out of here. Look, I will say right now, the situation that Tank Davis is dealing with is not something that could put him in jail. It's a civil matter. So he's not in danger of going to jail. He just got to take care of business. That legal matter, take care of it, and take care of himself. Forget about boxing for a little bit. The hydrogram. We can all disagree and even talk smack a bit, but keep it clean all the time, my peoples. Come on now. One thing is disagreeing. We could disagree. We could trash talk, all of that. But to start saying fake stuff about fighters, not over here. You ain't going to do that. Take that shit to them other YouTuber fake boxing channels. Agent 17. Doing good. Well, blessing up J. Smith today. Salute, my brother. Bam. Superman. Goof ballery. We not having it. We not standing for the goof ballery. We not standing for it, my peoples. It just gets emotional when that subject comes up, man. I know that people want to pick a side. You don't have to pick a side. Wes Dustin, how do y'all feel about Shushu and Cool Boy? Steph, upcoming fight. Damn, Wes Dustin, that's a good fight, man. Shushu Carrington and Cool Boy, that's a good fight. I have a hard time going against Shushu, man. I like Cool Boy. I know what he brings to the table. I have a hard time going against Shushu, bro. I have a real hard time. Yo, did you see the fight? Kurt Scooby signed up to fight this dude, man. It's a good fight. That's going to be a good fight. Somebody in the chat tell me who Kurt Scooby fighting. The letter M, deduct a point. Superman. It's enough of those all over the tube. And I get tired of those channels. Bro. Sometimes I wonder what, like, I've gone to channels, like, to actually talk boxing, where every single comment is just some dumbass shit that I'm like, I'm not even going to comment, me. I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm not even going to comment. What are they talking about over here? Lou, who you think Bud is fighting next? So he said he has his eye on Johnny Beck. Obviously, Johnny Beck has an opponent lined up. I don't know, man. I know that Crawford is going to fight at 160 next. It's looking like he wants to become a champion in that division. I would love it to be Carlos Adames. But I don't know who he's going to fight next, bro. I just don't know. Because he could wait for Johnny Beck. Johnny Beck wins his next fight. and then after that they could settle so they could fight each other. That could happen. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's next for Terrence Crawford. I do feel confident that he'll be fighting at 160. Superman, I thought Cool Boy was fighting Shaq. Who is O'Shaquie Foster fighting? Because you're right. Who is O'Shaquie Foster fighting? Agent 17, I won't be able to watch the fights this weekend because I fight. Ooh, okay. Agent 17 is going to be putting hands on somebody. You'll be able to watch the replay, though. You'll be able to watch the replay because you're going to have to. It'll be a good fight. Agent 17 is going to be laying hands on somebody, my peoples. Juan Ocasio, I thought Kubo fighting O'Shaquie Foster. I'm confused about who's fighting who over there right now, man. Y'all got me twisted. Brian Romero, good morning, brother. God bless. Hope all is well. Salute, my God. Appreciate you dropping in. Wes Dussett. I got Carrington, too. Yo, Shushu Carrington is a special fighter, bro. Shushu Carrington is a special fighter. Juan Ocasio. 9. He is not fight Shushu. Yeah, what can somebody verify who Shushu Carrington fight? Is Cool Boy actually fighting Elijah Pierce, or who is he fighting? I forgot. The Hydro Grind. Nico Flash fighting Friday. But Iqua says he's the next big thing out of the island. The next big thing out of the island is Xander Sayas. That's who's going to be the face of Puerto Rican boxing. Xander Sayas. Juan Ocasio, the hell we talking about? We talking boxing, bro. Aroma Sound, the way Tank was handling the promotion of the fight, it didn't seem like he wanted to fight Jake Paul anyways. I mean, it didn't feel like he wanted to fight Jake Paul. I'm not sure how you got that. That's the way that he goes about every promotion. I saw it the same way as he goes to any promotion. Now, what do you think about the allegations? The way those allegations played out, do you think that Tank looked like he wanted to be kidnapping girls? Like, I don't know how you think, how you look. I don't think like he wanted to do something. I don't get it. Brian Romero, Buzz supposedly is coming back in March. I don't know versus who, though. Because Johnny Beck is going to be fighting soon. Is he going to be, is Johnny Beck going to then set up a fight to fight Crawford right after? I don't know. Carlos Adames is a champion in the 160 division. So, I'm going to just keep floating that name out there. Wes Dussett. Sue said he wants Shakur at 135. I don't think that's going to happen. The reason I don't think that's going to happen is because, look, Shakur's already doing business with Teofimo to fight at 140. And if they do make that fight, which is looking like it's going to happen, I don't see Shakur going back down to 135. If Shakur becomes a world champion in the 140 division, he's not going back down. He's done with 135. So, the only way we see Shakur and Shushu is if Shushu Carrington moves up to 140. That's how I see it. The Hydro Grind, Fulton, Agent 17. Nah, I miss work. I work. Damn. Okay, you work. Underrated Will, Steph. Juan Ocasio, Kubo fighting O'Shaquie Foster, not Shushu. Okay. Ooh, and I love that fight, man. Remember, they ran into each other and was going back at it, letting each other know. I still remember O'Shaquie was like, yo, yeah, I put hands on you. Put hands on you. I like that fight. West us, O'Shaquie and Fulton, my bad. I like that fight, man. Juan Ocasio, I like Juanita. Ooh, Juanita can fight. Juanita can fight. Still young. Still got a long way to go. But he can fight. He's going to be a world champion. Juanita's going to be a world champion for sure. Agent 17, Boxer says Shushu is on medical suspension. Superman, cool fight O'Shaq. They're going at it on interviews. Yeah, man, Cool Boy and O'Shaquie Foster. They're the two that have been going at it. And they ran into each other too And in personal, Shaqy Foster let him know I knock you out. So that's interesting the way that is played out between them two. Age of 17. You think it'll be entertaining if I uploaded VR boxing? Because it's tough posting anything with my face without YouTube disabling comments. VR boxing, I'm not sure, honestly, my brother. I I've never really seen content with VR boxing. I don't know how you can make it. So honestly, I don't want to say. Because I don't want to tell you, man, that would be awesome. And then nobody likes it. You'll be like, damn, Jay told me it was going to be awesome. Or I don't want to tell you, that shit is whack. And then that shit blow up and you be like, look, Jay, you told me it was whack and it blew up. So honestly, that's something that I don't know if it's done to focus or to create content like that. I couldn't really tell you, my brother. If you're interested in it, give it a shot. You never know. That I can say. The letter M. Scooby versus Lundy. Scooby gonna put the beats on. Oh, shit. Wait a minute. You sure? I thought he was fighting somebody else. I thought he signed to find somebody else. Are you sure? I could have sworn he was fighting somebody else, bro. Hold on. Let me see something. Hold on, my people. You guys know I always fact check myself. You see, you're wrong, my brother. Kurt Scooby is fighting Adam Azim. I knew it, bro. Look, Kurt Scooby. Look at him right there. And I'm looking at his box, right? His name is Adam Azim. This fight just got announced recently. Damn, I can't. If you look at the box, right? I don't know how you got Lundy, bro. Kurt Scooby's next opponent, November 15th, Adam Azim. Undefeated. I think he's from the UK. Age 17, I'll send you a clip on it on Insta. I'll give it a shot anyway. Yeah, give it a shot. That's what it is. Give it a shot and see where it goes. You know, don't be afraid of innovation, of trying something new. But when you try new things, you have to be open to the possibility that it may work, it may not work. Give it a shot. My peoples, again, my expectations, Vergil Ortiz, Erickson Lubin is going to be a tough fight. They're going to go back and forth. I expect it to be competitive, but ultimately, I have Vergil Ortiz winning it. Gib Curry, what's up, family? Salute. Bam. I think that, you know, obviously Lubin has the skills to make it an interesting fight. And he could even pull off the upset. I'm not saying, you know, that he has no chance because he can fight. I know what Lubin brings to the table. I just think that Vergil, you know, is younger, stronger, skills-wise, he matches up well. And I just see the fight going his way. Whether it's a stoppage or a decision. I don't know. It's hard to predict this fight because I know how good Lubin is, even though he's been stopped a couple of times, but I still know what he brings to the table. So, tough. I'm predicting Vergil to win. Tough fight. Greg Curry, lit Saturday. Some good fights. By the way, my peoples, I will be calling the fights live. Jay Stradamus will be in the building. And check out the pinned comment. Box Center 2.0, my people. Subscribe to that channel. Exclusive content dropping every day. And by the way, just like we got boxing for breakfast in the morning, there's going to be a new show that'll air at nighttime. That show will only be on Box Center 2.0. So my peoples, help me get to 50 subscribers. Sooner, the same day that we get to 50 subscribers, I'm going to go live, announce the name of the show, announce the date that is going to drop, and I promise you, you guys are going to absolutely love it. It's going to be a cookout show. Absolute cooking session. So subscribe to Box Center 2.0, my peoples, because I'm trying to get this started for you guys. It's gonna be some serious, serious premium boxing trash talking going on. Give Corey Ortiz or the Hammer. Listen, man, I got Vergil Ortiz winning. I don't know if it's gonna be by knockout or if it goes to the distance. Vergil's gonna win this fight. JJ's in the house. For Vergil moving up in weight, he looks strong. He does. Somebody earlier said, oh, but he don't got knockouts in the division. Yo, he only got one fight at 154. Relax. And Lubin has been stopped twice. So he can be stopped. Give Curry, yes, sir, hell of a fight. He always does make it exciting. That's why I said earlier, Vergil Ortiz versus Erickson Lubin is gonna turn into a slugfest. And it's gonna happen early. You know why? Vergil's a pressure fighter. And Lubin is somebody who doesn't back down. He's gonna use the footwork, he's gonna box you, but ultimately, he's gonna sit there and trade leather with you if he has to. So you can expect this to be the type of showdown that we're gonna see fireworks from early on. Wes Dustin, salute my brother, appreciate you. My peoples, y'all already know, anytime you guys take action to show people Box Center, to show people what this is about, to support me, I always appreciate it. Salute Wes Dustin. And I tell everybody, I don't care if you support me with $1, if you support me with $20, if you support me by sharing the live, if you just share my live on Instagram, or salute to those who share the live on Facebook. I seen that the other day. I appreciate it. Anything that you do to support Jay Smith, to support Box Center, I always appreciate it, my peoples. Wes Dustin, you've been showing love. I appreciate you, my brother. Real talk. Superman, facts, he will. Giovanni Walker, what's up? What's the deal, Giovanni Walker? Bam. We talking boxing. Erickson Lubin and Vergil Ortiz. That's this Saturday. They're going to trade some nasty, nasty leather. And by the way, nobody's watching anybody, my peoples. You can forget the people who love to say, oh, this person's going to make it look easy. And it's going to be easy work for Vergil. And it's going to be easy work for Lubin. This man nice. He's going to... No. These are two guys, world caliber type of fighters. Lubin is for world champions. He's only lost to Sebastian Fundora and and Jermell Charlo. Those are the only people that beat Erickson Lubin. Sebastian Fundora and Jermell Charlo. World champions. So you know what type of fighter he is. Vergil Ortiz is coming off of his win versus Israel Madrimov, a former world champion who went the distance with Terrence Crawford. That's a super quality win. So both of them been on the big stage. Lubin has more experience. Vergil Ortiz is a stronger fighter. This is a perfect matchup for a slugfest, my people. The young, hungry bull is not going to back down. And Lubin, he's not even old. He's just more experienced. What is Lubin, like 30 years old? He's not even old. But he is the more experienced fighter. He's been on the bigger stage. That's going to be a factor, which I believe Vergil Ortiz will be able to overcome and win the fight. Wes Dustin, best boxing commentary on the internet. Woo, Wes Dustin, I appreciate you, my G. We're going to number one. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. They could give me a strike. They could shadow ban me. They could hate on me. We headed for number one, my G. It's the inevitable. Gib Curry, he ain't calling the hammer. He ain't called the hammer for no reason. Damn. Should be the sledgehammer. Superman, Jay, isn't this the third fight for Vergil? I thought he only had one at 154. Did he have two already? If I'm not mistaken, he had one fight at 154. Superman, the one where he got knocked down twice and won, and then Madrimov fight. Oh, you know what? You're right. I think this is his second fight. I think it is. I think you're right about that. Gabe Curry, the test of the showdown with that fight. And Lubin has been tested many times. That's what I'm saying. Vergil might face adversity for the first time in his career. It can happen. He might face adversity because he's going to have somebody. What people don't realize is how big Lubin is. That's what people don't understand. Lubin is a big dude. He like 5'10", 5'11". Keep me honest, my peoples. If you can fact check me real quick. 5'10", 5'11". He a big dude. So Vergil's also a big kid. But because he's big, he's used to fighting smaller opponents. Look at Madrimov. Madrimov looks smaller than Vergil. And he's not a small guy. Vergil's a big kid. So most of his opponents are smaller than him. That's not going to be the case with Lubin. Lubin a big dude, bro. So Lubin is a guy who has size and he can box. He can box you. He can trade leather with you. And he got that power that he can land one good one and drop you. Hurt you bad. So Lubin is not, the type of fighter that you can just look past him and say, oh no, Vergil's going to wash him. Vergil. But I will tell you, Vergil Ortiz has the style, applies the type of pressure, and has the skill set to beat Erickson Lubin. And he can stop him. Lubin been stopped twice. Vergil can be the third one to stop him. Is it going to be easy? Hell no. Forget about it. Anybody who thinks that either fighter is going to make it look easy, just forget about it. Give up that idea. There's going to be a good one. It's going to be one of those where you get fireworks. And by the way, I'm going to be calling this fight live. So you can expect to hear devastating blow from Vergil Ortiz. Ladies and gentlemen, Lubin lands a right shot to the melon. Vergil with a left to the mouthpiece. Vergil with another right to the dome piece. Lubin with a left to the wig piece. You're going to get the commentary for this one, my people. Get ready. Because we're going to witness some nasty fireworks in this one, I promise you. So if you haven't seen the Jay Smith commentary, tune in for this one, my peoples, because I promise you, it's going to be in full force. You're going to see Jay Smith, Jay Stradamus, and the human algorithm all at once for this fight. The letter M. Any man with two hands got a fighter's chance. That's a fact. That's a fact. You're always going to have a chance. But if there's a difference in skill set, if there's a difference in talent, your opportunity to win is going to diminish. Somebody's going to have. That's why in boxing, there's usually going to be a favorite and an underdog. Most of the times, the favorite is going to win. But we don't know if Erickson Lubin is going to be the guy to be part of the minority that edges out the victory in spite of being the underdog. Age of 17. If you call the fight live, Jay Smith, I'll be able to listen in at work. Tune in. I'm definitely going to run the fight live for sure. Gib Curry and endurance. My peoples, I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in this morning. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Boxing for Breakfast. Like I said before, my peoples, subscribe to Box Center 2.0. I'm dying to start the new show for you at night. It's going to be something special. I promise you. I promise you. Subscribe to Box Center 2.0. Let's get to 50 subscribers so we can start going live over there. And we're going to make it happen. Lots of things going on in boxing, my peoples. Keep this in mind. Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez, they haven't signed the contract yet, but it's close. We know that Devin Haney's locked in with Brian Norman Jr., Ryan Garcia. He's working on it with Mario Barrios. That's something that hasn't been finalized yet. So there's a lot of moving pieces. If anything develops, I may go live again tonight so we can go over those updates. So you may see me again, my peoples. Before I leave you, let me give you the last words, the J. Stradamus words of the day, my peoples. You know, I'm not gonna leave you without that. I've done it a few times, once in a while, but I gotta give you the J. Stradamus words of the day before I get the hell out of here. Before you guys get the hell out of here. My peoples. I'll start the words of the day by reminding you how many fans celebrated the huge bag that Tank Davis was gonna get. Remember people celebrating? The letter M, I can't tell you yet what the show is going to be called. When I get to the 50 subscribers and I go there, I'm going to announce it. Remember, my peoples, everyone that was celebrating Tank Davis, you know, huge bag that he was going to get with Jake Paul, and how we would all do the same thing too, and how he's going to get all this money. And look what happens now. The fight falls apart. And you're celebrating somebody's money when they don't even have it yet. So what I want to say is, my people, do not celebrate other people's accomplishments, other people's money. It's okay. It's okay to honor them when they accomplish, but to make it a talking point in your arguments with other people about their money, don't do that. Don't take pocket watching to the level of where you're celebrating the money that they don't even have yet. People was really celebrating the purse that Tank Davis was gonna get. So I say to you, my peoples, all that energy that you put in celebrating somebody else's money, in celebrating somebody else's success, my peoples, put that energy on yourself. Put that energy on you trying to succeed yourself. Put that energy on you trying to build something for yourself. Don't be putting all that time and energy and thinking into what somebody else is making, into somebody else getting the most money. That's not going to help you in your life. We're going to turn these phones off, and Tank Davis money is not going to help you. And it's not going to help me. So, my peoples, if anything you learn from what Tank Davis is dealing with right now, you don't celebrate the money that you don't have, and you definitely don't celebrate somebody else's money. Celebrate accomplishments. Accomplishments will surpass money. Remember that. Remember that I told you that. Because your money, you can spend it. You've seen people with money go broke, but your accomplishments is going to be there. They're going to stand the test of time. So 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 50 years from now, you think they're going to be talking about Shakur won the most titles? Or you think they're going to be talking about Tank Davis made this amount of money? Think about this. George Foreman, there was an era where he's the guy that was making the most money. Ali, there was a time where he was making the most money. Sugar Ray Leonard. But when people talk about those fighters, do they talk about the money that they had or the money that they made? Or do they talk about how great they was? What they accomplished in the ring? So everybody needs to make money. We all need to make money. But I need to focus on my money, on the money that I'm trying to make. I can't be focusing on the money that somebody else got or the contract that somebody else signed. Shit, good for them. Good for them. But if me and you's arguing or debating or trash talking, I'm not going to sit here and tell you, well, this person got more money and this person's making money. The hell that shit got to do with me? I ain't getting none of that. What it got to do with me? What it got to do with you? So my peoples, focus on yourself. Focus on your success. Focus on what you can give for yourself. What you can do for you and your family. And let these people enjoy their success. They good. They don't need us celebrating their money. Tank don't need you or I celebrating his millions. He good. He's enjoying it. He's going to get his mansions, cars, jewelry, everything he wants. We don't need to celebrate their money. Do not celebrate other people's money and other people's success. That's the word of the day, my peoples. Work on yourself. Forget about other people. Work on your success. Celebrate your success, not someone else's. Y'all already know what it is, my peoples. Boxing for breakfast tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. Eastern time. We're going to talk boxing, my people. We're going to do what we do. Salute to everybody who tuned in this morning. One love. Agent 17, Superman, Lou, the letter M, JJ Sendejas, Gib Curry, Wes Dussett. Who else was in the building? Giovanni Walker. Everybody else, man. Everybody who tuned in. I appreciate you guys. Y'all know what it is, man. I always tell you, boxing for breakfast would not be what it is if it wasn't for you guys. If it wasn't for you bringing in your opinion, bringing in your perspective, it wouldn't be what it is. So I appreciate everyone tuning in and bringing in your own perspective to make this show what it is, my people. It wouldn't be what it is without you. I'll see you guys tomorrow. One love and peace. Bam. Hablamos mañana.